Okay, we'll move on to our next presenter, and that's Pete Robson from Z Energy. Pete is the Digital Marketing Manager at Z Energy, where he is responsible for their digital comms, mobile, social, web, etc. He's previously worked at organisations such as ANZ, New Zealand Post, Telecom, now Spark, and his experience encompasses a wide range of digital and online customer experience and marketing. Outside of work, Pete's also a course director of New Zealand Marketing Association's Digital Marketing Certificate, where he teaches professionals about the power of digital, how to integrate into existing marketing and business strategies, and the steps to execute this successfully. He's also an avid skier, and earlier this month he climbed to the crater lake of Mount Ruapehu to ski down. Sounds a bit mad. He made it without crashing, so he's here to give us this presentation. Pete Robson.
Thanks, Peter. It was a bit mad, but I made it down. Look, a couple of months ago I got the question to answer, and I got extremely excited. And much like Alex said, there's a lot in it. So I thought, right, what am I going to do? And I came up with a whole heap of ideas. I started thinking and generating and writing stuff down. And then I realized I needed to stop. I needed to stop because I needed to talk to these guys. Simply put, all the ideas I could come up with were just going to be coming from one perspective. So what I did was, I've been running a survey online, had about 150 responses, and I conducted a whole heap of interviews. And I spoke to people because I didn't want to end up with just a one-eyed point of view. And rather than me telling you what they said, I thought I'd share with you some of their words.
Just make it easy for me, make it more efficient. I hate queues.
Yeah, I hate queues too. It just feels like I'm wasting my life.
Now we bonded over this time because the guy who's wasting his life was pretty low on it. And it wasn't just about a ski queue. The question I said to them is, what is the one thing that we should do as a convenience industry to improve your service, your experience? There were other people who I talked to as well.
Well, I really can't be bothered with people asking me if I want to buy other things when I'm at the counter, because I'm usually in quite a big hurry and I just want to get in and out as fast as I can.
And Gillian was bang on. Like, no one wants to hang around. People do, we know that, want to get in quickly. But there's more to it than that. It's about their experience encompassing everything. So I kept asking questions.
Well, I want to know that my trip is about me. You know who I am as a customer, so make it about what I want.
And Victoria's point really hit home for me, and that's essentially what I've come to talk to you about, is making it about what the customers want. Now, I racked my brain and thought through what are the different options we could do here. I looked through all of the survey responses I got back, and broadly they fit into a number of categories. So about 34% of people said they wanted it cheaper. There's a whole raft of people who said faster, relevant deals, easier, and other. And as I said, for me, it was about relevant deals, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Now, making it relevant to a person, we need to give them a personalized experience. It's about them. It's not about the products we want to sell or the places we want to bring them. It's about what they want to purchase. So making it relevant and making it personalized means that we need to understand them. We need to make it achievable we can make that achievable through targeted messaging. So for me right now, if I'm going to pick up my phone, what kind of message do you think I'm going to be wanting? It's probably going to be something about Rescue Remedy to help me out because I might be freaking out. It's about knowing what that person is doing at that point in time, where they are, and what they're up to. Now, this can be achieved through a technology called iBeacon and mobile. And that's what I'm going to talk to you. And talk through some opportunities that I see with iBeacon, talk it as a technology, but more importantly, talk it as an opportunity. What I see with iBeacon is it's the best targeted marketing opportunity for the convenience retail industry ever. Full stop. There is no better way that we can promote, talk to, communicate with customers than this. So what am I going on about? What is iBeacon? So iBeacon is an Apple technology. It's a technology they've put together, and it talks to both either Android or iPhones. This is an iBeacon. It's simply continuously pulsing out a message. It operates like a lighthouse. It can pinpoint someone's location in store down to a matter of inches. Now again, 2 inches. We're not talking GPS, we're not talking meters, 2 inches. That knowledge about where that person is powerful. We can understand what they're up to, what type of thing they're doing, and where they are in store. Operating like a mini lighthouse, it's pulsing a signal. They operate on a mains or a 2-year battery life. There's all sorts of different variations. It's a technology. They can be standalone, just as this one is here, or built into things. So, for example, FPOS facilities are now having them built into them, and petrol pumps are as well on the forecourt. They have a low unit cost, about $25 each. So there's not a significant technology investment here. It's just a piece of kit. However, for shoppers, we know that they're on a mission. That's what they do. There's different mindsets that people go through. We all have our customer personas, but they're on a mission, and that customer persona can be on a different mission each time. iBeacon will help us determine what those missions are. We can know exactly where in the store they are, but more importantly, how long. And that helps us understand their mission. It means that we can send them personalized and relevant information to their mission. So for example, you could send them a welcome message as they come into the store, greeting them, welcoming them back in, reminding them of their previous experience, possibly telling them that they've got 1 stamp left on that coffee card. It's a welcome message. Or alternatively, if they walk to the fridge and they're pondering and standing there for more than 30 seconds, there's a decision making happening. You could send them a 2-for-1 deal for that, for the fridge. And again, down to inches. It's this fridge or that fridge, not the fridges. It's about their exact location. Or what if that person then continues through walking in the store and leaves? We know, again, that they haven't walked through the payment counter because we know the parts of the service station or convenience store that they've been in, so we can send them a message to bring them back in. Because again, we understand where they've been, what they've been doing, and what their mission could have been. We can make assumptions. Now, talk is cheap, so I figured let's do a live demo, which in itself could be a catastrophic fail, but we'll give it a go. So I want you to imagine, you all, if no one in this room can think of what a service station looks like or a convenience store, I'm in a bit of trouble. But I want you to imagine that this is a service station. I've got a fridge, I've got a payment counter, and I've got a set of doors. And these black squares that you can see on them are iBeacons, and they're running right now. And as I turn my phone on and walk up to the fridge, it'll understand that I'm there, and as I get closer, pick up and send me a message, because it knows that I'm in front of this fridge. Now the message doesn't need to be a 2-for-1 or a deal. It could be something relevant to that product. So in this example, download the Move 60 app. It comes back to, again, that person's experience at the time in the store. When I get closer to my cashier, I might get a message of, it's going to sync, refuel and win. So something to do with my location. I might not have made a purchase. It might be that reminder of that promotion or campaign that's running at the same time. So it messages me and tells me about what's going on. And as I walk out the store and possibly go on my way, without having purchased, it'll send me, hopefully, a 2-for-1 about something which I might have been looking at or something that was relevant to my purchase, or my non-purchase in that case, I'm walking out. So essentially that's how iBeacon would work. It would enable us to understand people's journey, people's behaviour, and people's shopping in store. There's a raft of people around, companies around the world who are doing it. Macy's have been doing a trial for the last 6 months, doing a welcome message, essentially just toying with the idea of what would this enable? What would this data help us do from a bigger picture? As you can see, Waitrose have started going to the next level, doing targeted deals and offers, down to an aisles level. So there's no more gondolarians fighting over space. People can have companies can have their own gondolarian based on that person's individual needs. Each individual customer gets their own targeted message. There isn't that cramming of message across the store. You can be specific to an individual. And then Gilbarco, who most in the room should know are builders of petrol pumps. And they've been installing iBeacons into their pay at pump terminals overseas. So in the States now, they're pay at pumps which are sending messages not to people on the forecourts with their phones, because that wouldn't be right, to the people in the cars who are sitting waiting for others to come. So the technology is growing. There's opportunities here, and again, there's examples of it happening. 54% of us have smartphones, and I challenge anyone in this room to not have one. You all have, as Alex said earlier, you've all touched it today, hopefully the smartphone. The things that we have changed our lives with the phones it's become a completely different way of operating. We no longer look for word of mouth. We use this as a tool that guides our day-to-day living. The raft of opportunities with smartphones are only growing. In the States, Swirl and Research Now, two of the state's biggest technology and research companies, have run an investigation in terms of potential for iBeacon. As you can see behind me, 85% of people have used mobile shopping with their mobile phone whilst inside a store. We're using this device to research, to look, to all sorts of manner of things. And when you drilled into, 2/3 of those people have said that their smartphone has influenced that purchasing decision. We're relying on these tools to help us make decisions. Even further, Swirl and Research Now looked at what are the things that influence decision behaviour. On your right-hand side, you can see that 32% were influenced by new product launch. 55% of people said that they were influenced by short-term limited deals. Yet, at a 72%, people are influenced by targeted messages to their shopping. When they're in store at that point of time, they would be influenced. It would change their decision-making process about a purchase. So this sounds really nice, but does it stack up? It's all great to be suggesting a new technology or a new thing if it doesn't cut the mustard. So I've looked at the costs and done an investigation around how I would roll this out if I were to put it in place. Without a shadow of a doubt, you start with a pilot. There's no nationwide rollout here to start with. You start with a trial, you pick a region, and you pilot it. Because in any new endeavour, you learn. You have to learn from what you're doing. Following that on, a rollout it would be simply taking these devices and installing them in store. It's a less than 90 days experience in terms of time frame. From a cost point of view, having 4 iBeacons in a store and the resource to put it up, $250. They're not expensive kit. It's limited, low entry point and limited time to put up. And then from a network ops, support and analytics to actually develop it, we're talking about $100K per year. So it's not small investment to get to a bigger place with it. There's the technology, but there's the investment behind it in terms of people cost. But then what does it do for us? So looking through the 2013 numbers, for a simple 1% increase in gross profit, the numbers come back at a ROI of around about 45% and over 4 years, and an NPV of about 175K. So this kind of a play is not a short-term gig. It takes some time to build up, but there is that investment to be made to get a decent return. But couldn't anyone do that? Where's the competitive advantage in actually just sticking some things on site and sending them targeted messages? And it's absolutely right. It's not about just their location or just sending a message to their phone. It's about the customer data. So what an iBeacon will actually truly enable us is, we know that technology would never give us a competitive advantage. Anyone can replicate it. But combining that location data with our existing purchasing data from a Flybys or a Smart Fuels or any of those kind of programs, boom, that's the kind of thing that gets you competitive advantage. Because suddenly you're able to generate predictive modelling around what that person wants. What if I don't actually like Tip Top ice cream and I'm a Magnum person? Why are you sending me a 2-for-1 about Tip Top? It's about understanding that person's previous behaviour. And that's the true power in a program like this. And coming fully back to what Victoria said, it's not send me messages, it's send me messages because you know what I want. You know who I am and bring it back to me. So it's using the data that you would drive from a location tool like iBeacon, combining it with the targeted combining it with the data you have from their shopping behaviour to give them truly targeted and relevant messaging. That's how I would enhance customer experience. And I would challenge you all to think, how would you be able to do it? Now, if you want my slides, simply head to voteforpete.com, and thank you very much.